Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you are doing well, and it's time for a weekly track roundup where I give my thoughts on a bunch of tracks that have dropped within a week's time or so, and I round them up and talk about them in this video, excuse me. Whether I loved or hated these tracks I'm about to mention, we have linked them all down below, along with our Turntable Lab link. It's an affiliate link that we get kickback from, whether you go over there and you buy some vinyl or a turntable or whatever. Check it out, check it out. We also have our Patreon page down below. If you want to get some extra bonus monthly content while supporting us in the process, that would be great. That would be amazing. That would be very, very much appreciated. And yeah, also shout out to our continued sponsor, good people over at the Ricch, still making these amazing, minimalist, nifty, teeth-resistant, and RFID blocking wallets that fit nicely in your front pocket. Hit up that link down below. Promo code MELON, all you got to know. All right, worst tracks of the week. We have quite a few. It's been a very split week. We have a lot of worst tracks and a lot of best tracks. Not a whole lot in the middle, honestly, but here we go. We have this new one from Trippie Redd. It's a couple of songs attached to a single. Very raw, very almost demo-like guitar, singer-songwriter cuts that are very badly executed. Vocals painful to listen to. They're really not much to speak of, in my opinion. But here you go. We have a new one from Roddy Ricch as well. Can't Breathe, I believe, or Stop Breathing, sorry, is the title. And yeah, it's not like a super offensive track from Roddy, but I feel like he really kind of undersold the track overall. Like, he's not really hitting us with those melodic lines. He's rapping for the most part through the track, and his delivery is very mild, very understated, and the beat on this track is quite generic as well. Just not really much about the song that's popping, in my opinion. We have one from Charlie Puth as well. Be Quiet, or sorry, Charlie Be Quiet is the title of this one, and it's like a very cringy rock-styled internal monologue about not telling a woman about your actual intense feelings of love and infatuation, or else she'll not be interested in you. Charlie, honesty is always the best policy, even if that person ends up not really being into you. Maybe that person wasn't for you. You know, find somebody who, you sort of like vibe with a bit more mutually, and that'll probably be the direction from there. Charles, is my recommendation. And yeah, the song itself is not really all that flattering. We also have a new one from KSI, Summer Is Over. Thank God for this track, marking the end of summer, else I wouldn't know it was over. And yeah, to me, this sort of sounds like, like a really watered down 88 Rising style summer jam or something like that. It's not really all that impressive. Beat is generic. Very heavily pitch corrected vocals are unflattering as well. Maybe KSI should have wrote it more in his range. I don't know, but either way, it's rough and generically summery, I suppose. And we also have this new one from Ed Sheeran, a bit of a Pokemon tie-in with this track, I suppose. But yeah, it's a very underwhelming and generic little pop tune with no soul and no flavor whatsoever. You can just hit skip on this one completely. And we also have a new one from Arctic Monkeys, Body Paint, second taste of the band's forthcoming album, and boy is it rough. It sounds like Alex Turner is doing really bad karaoke on this track. He's still doing that whole like swooning, crooning, dramatic kind of lounge rock instrumentation thing that the band has been locked into for, I'm guessing, this record and their last record. And yeah, it's really quite hard this time around to stomach, because once again, it just sounds like bad karaoke. The tracks that I was on the fence with, not necessarily blown away by, but still thought they were worth shouting out. We have a couple of those. New one from Bill Wurtz, Where I've Been, not his boldest and most musically intricate track, but still a pretty decent and fun one from Mr. Bill Wurtz. And we also have a First Aid Kit over here with a new track titled Turning Onto You, which is a decent and very mild kind of folk rock cut. Moving on from there, we have the best tracks of the week, quite a few of those. Let's start with this song over here, Choose a Life, from Wings of Desire. First hearing of this band through this track, and yeah, it's like a really great driving, fuzzy, lo-fi indie rock song with like some motivational lyrics that are quite interesting, but also displaying sort of like a painting yourself into a corner societally. Obviously, there's like limitations to the sort of life and expectations that are being laid upon, the listener with the lyrics of the track. Almost reminds me of like the introduction to the Train Spotting movie in a way. Kicks ass, very smart, very energetic track with a lot to mull over. We have a new one over here from Smino as well, 90 Proof. J. Cole in the mix as well on this one. Great vocal harmonies, great instrumental. J. Cole feature is a little mild, but doesn't take away from the track too much. It's a very soulful bop all around. We've got a new one here from Polyphia, Steve Vai in the mix, which I was very worried about because I'm not really a big Steve Vai fan, but great grooves, awesome intricate guitar work, and Steve Vai has worked into the track very tastefully. It's groovy. It's like rat-a-tat on crack, which I know I've said about a previous track of theirs, but just like really amazing guitar music from the band. Very full of virtuosity, but also really accessible and fun to listen to. We also have Paramore killing it on this new track, this new single that they have dropped. The title of this one, This Is Why. And it's like a really cool little indie rock cut with a little Radiohead vibes and a little Block Party vibes and a little Talking Head vibes here and there. It's really good. It's really enjoyable. The various instrumental transitions are nice. Haley's vocals are on point. Bridge is super awesome. It's a killer track all around, and cool to see the band continuing to evolve. Their little dance rock, synth pop vibe on the last LP was great, and this is shaping up to be really nice too. We have a new one over here as well from Men I Trust. Billie, Toppy is the title of this one, and it's one of the most driving tracks I've ever heard from the band. Almost post-punky in a way, but with super dreamy vocals on top. It's beautiful melodically. It's got some great kinetic energy between all the musicians on the track. It's just a good one all around, and while I haven't been a huge Men I Trust fan in the past, this one's really kind of winning me over a little bit. All right, we have a new one from M.I.A, Beep. I think this is the best single that she has dropped in this recent round of tracks. You do have kind of like that cool, interesting cross-cultural production style going on, like a bold little beep beep, vocal refrain on the track, some decent rapping on the verses. It's kind of, typical like, old school M.I.A style in terms of delivery and everything. I mean, not revolutionary or anything like that, but it feels like a somewhat modern version of kind of, the classic sound that she's brought to the table. Wish it was a bit longer, but I think there's definitely something there to this track. Certainly more than there has been to more recent, other recent songs that she's dropped. We have a new one from Lewis Cole over here, another taste of his forthcoming LP. This one's quite groovy, quite fun. I think the Thundercat fans will get a lot out of this track, if I am being completely honest with you. The bass line goes off, the drums go off. Dead Inside Shuffle is the name of the song. And a straight up awesome hook on this song too. Shout out to Lewis Cole on this one, continuing to kill it. We have a new one from LCD Soundsystem over here, New Body Rhumba. And it's kind of a lengthy driving track with a few interesting transitions in classic LCD Soundsystem style. Maybe a minute longer than it needed to be, but almost felt like a very raw cut from their debut album in a way. But with a somewhat psychedelic finish, like something off of their last LP, which I thought a lot of songs on that record were kind of unnecessarily messy and unflattering. But the way things kind of came together on this new one, I really liked and I really enjoyed. So hell yeah to this track. We also have a one from this band that I'm just learning about as well. Divorce is the name of them, and it's got a really awesome kind of singer-songwriter boy-girl dynamic on the vocals, very cheeky on the lyrics too, great performance energy as well. Checking Out is the title of the cut, and I think it's an amazing little track. Check it out. It's really fun. Becoming a big fan of Divorce over here. Enjoying the Divorce. All right, we have That Girl, new track from Bree, Runway. On this one, it's a bop, it's a banger, it's one of her best tracks ever. I feel like she's really killing it on this one. Defining song for Bree, great energy, and yes, it's a slay. It's a fucking slay. I feel like that's the biggest compliment I could lend this track. It's a slay. It's a slay on Monslay, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday slay, Saturday slay, and Sun slay. It's a fucking slay. Okay? And I'm not talking about Santa. And that has been the weekly track roundup, everybody. Those are my opinions on those songs. Hopefully you got some good recommendations out of this video. You're the best. I will see you in the next one. Anthony Fantano, Weekly Tracks, forever.